As my builds are getting more complicated, the builds are getting longer. And this, I can see this being the longest build yet. I'm going to make a game this year. And I started this at the very beginning of the year, having built the office, my game design office with the arcade in it and every other distraction under the sun. I thought it'd be about time to knuckle down and start building something. So this is my game. It's a settlement building game, all based around the concept of harvesting moisture from the atmosphere. It's set in a desert environment and water is very scarce. And you have to build these harvesters to harvest the moisture in passing clouds in order to support a growing population. But also you can use the water as currency to trade with other players. It's very early days yet, extremely early, I might add. And these are just placeholders at the minute, but I just wanted to show you the progress that I've made. I've got it on a board. I'd quite like it to be to replicate like the old style board games where pieces are placed and we have to think where we're going to place them. And you can see here I've got various buildings already in play. The central one being the main harvester. So you are given a harvester, a cloud harvester at the start of every game, and you'll notice that the water tank starts to increase with it over time as the harvester kicks into operation. And from then on you can use the water you collect to start building and purchasing additional houses and building materials. I'm a big fan of these building games, especially like I grew up with SimCity. Now, SimCity, yeah, loved it, but could never get the water right. Could never do it. I have never tried it for years, but maybe I will. But I started exploring other similar puzzle settlement building games, and the current style that I've adopted is influenced by two big games, two up-and-coming games. The first one being called Dorf Romantic. Now this I really like. It's still in its demo stage and you can find it on itch, and basically it presents you with a piece and you have to start building your settlement based on the pieces it serves. Obviously there's an algorithm to how it delivers each tile to you, and I really liked this concept. So I set about doing something similar. And you can see here that the game delivers a piece at a time. Now, I'm trying to build the logic behind the tile delivery, and I have a notebook and it's full of sketches and pseudocode to try and flesh out the algorithm for the tile delivery. And I thought I had it, and I plumbed it in, I wrote it and tested it, and it completely broke the game. Completely broke it. So now I'm having to rewrite it. And this is V2, the great rewrite. And to be honest, I'm in a better place for it. I learned a huge amount from the first version. So I've cherry picked all the best bits and all the things that I learnt and the things I'm to avoid this time. And this version is a lot lighter as a result. It flows a lot better as well. And I've written it in such a way that I can easily tweak the tile delivery system once I have everything else in place. Another game that's influenced it is one called Spartan, if you pronounce it like that, and I love the style of this game. It is a train simulator or tram simulator, and you have to guide your trains around, stopping and starting them to avoid collisions. But I just really like the style. I really admire the artwork in this. It's like it's done out like an IKEA catalogue, and the instructions for this game, the tutorial, is done exactly like an IKEA instruction booklet, and I really like that. I haven't found a site that will generate those images for me based on an image or a sketch that I've done. So I've just hand drawn some very, very crude buildings just to get me started, just to see if the feel is right for this game. And I think it is. I really like it. I really like the fact that it's um, black and white with a few subtle colours here and there. When we get onto like the water tanks, if I restart the game, when we got onto the water tanks, the tanks subtly flash a blue color. Then when you have to build your electricity network, the electricity hub stations start pulsating a nice pastel yellow, which I really like actually. But the majority of buildings and other landmarks are black and white. And there's a water station there flashing blue. We've been dealt a water tank. Brilliant. Every piece on the board affects the water consumption. So the bigger the population, the more water it's going to need to support that population. And so you're going to have to find other means to harvest it. Eventually, we're going to get up to a factory stage where we can start building producing things, including blimps or better technology to harvest the clouds. And I envisage sort of dogfights with other online players as we fight to harvest the moisture from the clouds above. That's another thing. I've got to build a whole weather system for this game. And to be honest, I'm quite looking forward to it actually. I'm quite looking forward to building this weather system. I've always wanted to code a flock of birds as well. Don't ask me why, but I've always wanted to code birds flying in a flock through the air. So I'm going to use this as an excuse to actually sneak that into the game as well. It's actually written in a really efficient way. This is V2 because the first version was a complete disaster. But what it does, it continually scans the board. The board is made up of 15 by 15 squares, and it continually scans. Starts at one end and scans everything. And every placement on the board, every landmark, every house has its own unique ID. So we just marry up the ID of the piece with the square that it sits on. And when it scans, there's obviously various rules which dictate how much water is consumed based on that particular piece, on that square. And things are continually calculated every few seconds. So as you can see here, the harvester is harvesting more water than currently is being used. It also allows for loading and saving, which I haven't got to yet, but I'm sort of preparing myself. So we're able to save a board, the current state of a board, and then reload it back into the game when we want to play it. And because I'm saving the board state, the current board state as an array, I can just present the player with that string and just say, copy and paste this and keep it somewhere safe. And then when you want to load up that game, you just copy and paste that string back into the game, and the same procedure will obviously pick it up and rebuild the board. So yeah, I'm calling it cloud storage for want of a better word. So I'm running with cloud storage at the minute, but I just wanted to show you how far I've got, mainly because it is going to be a long hard slog, and by showing it off like this, it will prevent me from ditching it for something else, as is usually the case at the minute. Don't know why, maybe it's just lockdown blues, but I'm all excited to start something new, but never finish anything at the minute. So this, I am going to spend the whole year developing this and see how far I can get. And when it's ready to play, or I'm ready for a few people to test it, I'll give a shout out. So yeah, keep an eye out for this one, cloud storage. And if you have any ideas, then just drop me a line. But yeah, I hope you enjoy what you're seeing, and yeah, keep following for updates. Cheers. Bye.